Welcome back. My name is Spectre. You're watching Game 2 of a very exciting Week 2 matchup here between two very teams. Wow, it looks like we had a little bit of a connection disruption there, but teams are back in action. Anyways, as I was saying, this is VGL Season 2, Game 2 of what's turning into a very exciting matchup here between two teams, one in its veterancy, both with some newcomers attached to them, and Game 1 did not go as anyone expected, as we saw basically what I'll call an upset victory this early on between Jetflyer and B Nasty, of course, Team AngerManagement. They swung in a very early attack, crippling El Pollo Loco, of course, VGL veteran, and he was able to, unfortunately, or they, I should say, were able to completely cripple him, leaving Sloan totally by himself. And Sloan, to his credit, did his best to SimCity himself, but unfortunately, they just decided to resign. And we do see a little bit of friendly banter coming back and forth as Jetflyer's ego has grown 3 sizes since the last game, as he realizes that his mentor and idol, Pollo Loco, is indeed human and can bleed. And now he wishes to make him bleed some more, as he can try and take that mantle away from him as basically the bully of this league. Right now, the top team is Sloan and Pollo. Team SeanPaul, of course, having crushing victories in the first week. Second week, starting off with a loss. You have to wonder if that's going to affect their tempo. We'll kind of have to see how that builds up here. Let's go take a look at the income tab. We see pretty even across the board. B and Sloan falling tad behind. Not really anything significant there, though. And we do see them kind of on split basis here. I kind of want to say this would favor the strategy that we saw from Jet and B Nasty last game, where they were able to kind of just double team Pollo and not in the way that he would like, and basically take him out of the game. And you have to kind of wonder if they will attempt this again. They did not go for a middle wall off here. I really don't like that on this map. It's just, I mean, this is a very large entrance to try and like wall off. It's not too difficult to accomplish, but it's very easy for them to kind of stack out here and roll in. You know, Terran, of course, with some siege tanks can make that a little less attractive, but either way, it's still a very messy, you know, kind of wall-in situation. You get a lot of build-up out there, and we do see Pollo not backing off of his ability to scout. He is still going to poke in here. He did not start with Jet this time, going with B. B, of course, a little too veteran to fall for any kind of trickery with that drone. And we do see some pinging going on. It looks like they have selected possibly their first target. We do still see the build-up, though. We do see 3 gateways down, and on the Terran side, we do see the Marines coming up as well, triple racks. So it looks like we may see a repeat, and we see a repeat on this side as well. Pollo still going with the expansion, basically sending a big FU to Jet and saying, hey, I'm going to expand anyway. I don't care how many times you're going to try to do anything. One difference, though, we do see a Baneling Nest and a lone spine crawler coming down that will add for a little bit extra defense. It was a very, very lean attack. They sent, I think, 6 Marines, 4 Zealots, so that 1 Spine Crawler with some Queen Plate could, 2 Spine Crawlers with Queen Plate could, you know, possibly repel this. This is a bit of a longer walk, I think, from the last map, so, you know, they obviously are somewhat expecting it. And we do see it here rallying up a little bit stronger from B, one extra Zealot, exactly the same though from Jet. We do see the 6 Marines rolling in. So here they go, they are off. There is no traction yet. We do see, oh, some other Zealots trickling in. This is a very much, this is starting to look very all in here, as they are just sending everything and saying, you know, we're going to go, and yeah, this worker is just kind of hanging out. All right, so here we go. Attack coming in. They're trying to see if they can recreate the magic from Game 1. This is going to be huge if they cannot repel this. However, Pollo is much better prepared this time with many, many Spine Crawlers and Banelings getting ready to go. Will they go for him? No, it looks like instead they will go for Sloan, who does have a bunker, 2 bunkers to deter them. So it looks like they will repurpose themselves over here to Pollo. Unfortunately, they are realizing, oh my god, how did he know this was going to happen? How is he so well prepared? And, you know, they just total shock and awe here on the side of AngerManagement. They do manage to repel that. Those Banelings, of course, taking out a good chunk of those Zealots. The Marines going to town, though, on this expansion. Pollo probably having some creative words with Sloan at this point. Sloan pulling out his few workers here. And, you know, these guys are operating on a lot less troops than B and Jet. You know, Team AngerManagement obviously going all in here, just really sending everything that they have, spending all their resources on this. This could be very bad they were slightly better prepared. Poyo definitely came at least a little bit packed up, but if they are not able to repel this attack and they go down early, and we do see these banelings kind of rallying up here, trying to stay on that creep. They want to stay on that creep as much as possible. They're surrounding the Marines, and it looks like, yes, they will get the Marines. Oh my goodness. Wow, what an excellently placed. That was just surgical as he just laid it in there and just slid it right in between and got both of those teams. Oh my gosh. That was huge. That was a clutch play. He saved the early game with that. Those banelings keeping Poyo alive, it would have certainly been death had he not been able to play that. And that's the veterancy that you see in Poyo's play. He is not new to this. He has come in first in our King of the Hill match. He has come very far in season play, and you just see him as an excellent competitor all around, and that's the kind of clutch play that you need when you're facing a high-pressure early game team such as AngerManagement, and he certainly pulled it off. That expansion definitely going down, but not as expensive as it would have been had he been able to hurt these workers over here. Thankfully, he was able to preserve this economy, keep himself alive, and just really clever play. You saw him skirting the edge here of this creep, but he knew that he had to get those banelings back on this creep if he wanted to be able to use them as effective as possible, since they are still in waddling form. Some would even call them moored banelings. But he knew he had to keep them on the creep. He was able to pull it off perfectly. So how is AngerManagement responding to this? They obviously did not get what they wanted. You see them going into phase 2 of the master plan, so to speak, as we do see now some starports coming down, some factory plays, still a lot of Marines. Let's go ahead and take a look at this unit tab. You take a look, we do have 5 banelings, 15 lings, and they are on the move, as well as 16 Marines from Jet. His other half, 9. It looks like they had a second wave ready to go, and these zealots just kind of hanging out here with a sign that says, "Please bling me," and they may get their wish. Meanwhile, this overlord getting shot out here, a stalker on the play, and it looks like their prayers have been answered. These zealots, who obviously are not pleased with their life and do not want to live anymore, they will get blinged, and it looks like half of them, almost half of them, go down, and some nice harassment there from Poyo, letting him know, sending a message. This is more of a psychological attack, if you ask me. He's sending him the message, look, you may have taken out my expansion, but do not think that I am defenseless over here. Do not think I'm counting pennies trying to rebuild this base. I've got a lot more than that. And meanwhile, Sloan has not been sitting there twiddling thumbs. He, of course, has 3 medevacs loaded up, and we saw this play in week 1 as he comes in and drops perfectly onto B Nasty's base here, trying to shred this economy, saying, you took an expansion of ours, I take a main from you. And it looks like he may be able to complete this off. No, he's peeled off. He's going instead. He's brute forcing these zealots. Definitely has enough troops to beat this back. He needs to take out these last 2 stalkers. Marines are rolling in. That, of course, is going to cue Poyo. The front door has been left unlocked, and he might as well be the happy Chihuahua running into the street, because here he comes with his little pack, shredding everything in sight. Meanwhile, the main base has fallen. Jet has repelled the invaders, but the damage has already been done as B Nasty's economy has been completely eviscerated. The happy Chihuahua pack running back, ecstatic at this success, and how quickly the tables have turned. B, of course, rebuilding his base now, but very far behind. Take a look at that income tab. You see he's down to 7 harvesters. He's not even bringing in an income right now. He barely had enough to make that pylon. Meanwhile, a response from Jet, not to be outdone with the doom drops, coming back in on Sloan, saying, hey, if you can do it, I can do it. I'm going to even drop a little bit further outside your mineral line and show you how it's done, son. And here we go, the 2 MMs merging in here. We do have some lings coming in. Not a great place for them to try and get us around. You see Poyo trying to angle himself a little bit. The workers have been pulled. Sloan taking this a little bit more carefully here. You do see some blings rolling in. Will they be able to catch it? They do not have the benefit of creep. We do see 1 Marine, 2 Marines going down. 3, you see this micro battle here, and all 1 well-placed baneling, but not enough with those medevacs. They stay alive, taking out their frustrations on this engineering bay. Screw you, science. And you see Jet loading up and jetting away. 1 guy staying behind, too slow. And wow, what an amazing back and forth play we just had here. A little hard to say who's on top. I think it's clear that Anger Management is behind. B took quite a beating on that. However, they were able to make Sloan pull back his workers for quite a bit there. This expansion still going down though, and wow, what an exciting exchange of play here. Neither team taking it lying down. Lots of back and forth. We just saw a counter attack with a counter attack with a counter attack. It's just incredible how many attacks that was back to back there. And you see Pollo is kind of skirting the line of this motion sensor line, and he's just kind of rolling around, making sure there are no additional expansions he doesn't know about. You see Jet has issued his punishment to B. He says, you're poor and you're staying poor because now I'm going to take your only other safe expansion here. You're not putting it to good use. You let them drop on you, so now I take this. And that's just how they roll. Anger Management. External, internal, doesn't matter. So here we see round 2. Unfortunately now there is a little bit of a motion sensor tracking here and a missile turret. So he does see it coming, and looks like Jet's going to pull back. Unfortunately, bad move for him trying to go in through there. And wow, a siege tank waiting. These medevacs just have no home right now. They are just trying desperately to find a place to land. And now they have a bunch of fast blings here, just waiting to kill them. And Jet cleverly just dropping a handful of troops, basically the guys he doesn't like, to see if he can trick Pollo to kind of waste those blings. We do have a tank going down. Unfortunately, those blings were not enough to take it out, and it looks like Jet got the better of that micro exchange as he was able to drop successfully. Sloan coming in to back up with his own troops here, but may not be enough, especially with that siege tank in place. It's really far back here for reinforcements to try and get, so it's in a very good position there. You do see 2 Lings rolling in. Looks like he will brute force that siege tank and just try to take it out. That is, of course, the biggest obstacle, trying to beat back this attack. And lots of medevacs. Unfortunately, these Marines, it's not going to be enough to keep them alive. You see them going down here. Workers even being pulled a little bit, probably not necessary. And you finally see that going down. Jet Flyer needs to get these medevacs out of here, though, before he loses one, and he just did. And we do see a trickle coming back as he was trying to... It looks like a little bit of an overcommitment on Jet. B, unfortunately, just a kind of a quiet spectator over here, trying to get back into the action. What a battle this is turning out to be, though. I mean, just incredible back and forths all around. We do see Pollo sneaking off an expansion as his team tries to take a commanding lead on resources. Take a look at the tab here. See Jet, of course, thanks to Mules and his 57 harvester count, quite a bit up there on resources. B starting to pull back a little bit, kind of almost catching up to Sloan, just a little bit, just a little bit behind on harvester. Sloan, of course, a little slow to get this expansion off the ground, and he had quite a bit of mining time that he lost when he had to pull all of his workers. You do see another medevac load up here, as a rollout may be imminent. There is quite a bit of tracking going on here with all these motion tracking towers. So these sensor towers, of course, going to make it very difficult for any kind of doom drops happening on the Jet Flyer turf. There is, of course, a path back here that may be useful. They'd have to skirt these cannons a little bit, and it looks like that may be what Sloan is going to try. It was very successful the first time he did it to B. B, of course, learning from his mistake, putting up quite a bit of cannons here. A little shy on the pylons, only 2 pylons here. It might be able to ninja that quickly. We do see a little bit of engagement here as we drop off outside. Unfortunately, still in this sensor tower range, so it will be detected. They are aware that that is there. We do see some blings and some lings here hanging out. Let's go ahead and take a look at units. We do see that Pollo very shy on the units here. Only 9 lings and 5 banelings holding his entire empire together. That, of course, is going to be a little tricky for him. He's pretty much macroing up. We have to assume some kind of tech switch is coming. We take a look at production tab. We do see Ultralists on the way, or at least the cavern is. So definitely something that he is looking to surprise them with. He's been very, very quiet with his units, just kind of making these lings and blings really work for him. And thanks to the MM, is very useful. He's dropped those sensor towers. Looks like he will come into play. Meanwhile, Sloan is not going to pull back. He has been detected by B, so we have to look for that drop coming soon if he wants to pull it off at all. We do see a handful of Marines and Lings coming in here to try and help out. Not going to be enough, especially with all these medevacs and a siege tank on the ground holding him off. You see him just kind of skirting in here. And finally some lings and blings coming in. Can he get back to the medevacs in time? It looks like he will not even attempt to make it in the medevacs. Oh no, and he loses all those Marines. He overstayed his welcome. He thought he could two-step a little too well, and unfortunately he couldn't. Poyo winning that exchange, really capitalizing on a mistake there. And we do see a little bit of a drop from Sloan out here. He loses that medevac. Meanwhile, these medevacs are finally on the move. He realizes there's some cannons there. You can tell Sloan a little frustrated right now with this situation. There's not much he can do. He needs to get these workers out of here, but there's really not much he can do. He finally picks a place to drop. You see him coming in here. Two simultaneous attacks taking place now. As B base is going down, these Marines need to ball up and try to take out as many of these Zealots as possible. Those Zealots not on an attack move order. Very critical mistake as he lost half of them coming in here. And these medevacs should be able to tank them well enough. Meanwhile, back at the main base, we do see some infested Terrans finally taking out the ground forces of Jetflyer as Poyo is able to save what's left of Sloan's base. Sloan, meanwhile, making the best that he can out of this attack. Making it very successful at this point, starting to really put B Nasty, setting him back a little bit. We do see these medevacs from Jet being repurposed now to try and heal his troops here, and of course these Vikings coming in trying to clean out the rest of these medevacs. Wow, what an incredible back and forth here. Meanwhile, Poyo just going to town on this, hiding this Ultralisk Cavern over here. They have absolutely no idea that that base is even there. This is turning into quite a matchup here, and we do see a pack of Lings, the Chihuahua squad on the move, trying to check for expansions. They are being detected by that sensor tower. Nothing there. We do see a burrow go in place, try and hold off that expansion as much as possible. Meanwhile, B trying to expand desperately to the bottom here. Unfortunately, he's been forced out. You have to question this decision here with Jetflyer taking this expansion. Definitely suiting his strength, since he was the stronger of the two because of B being crippled so early, but unfortunately that has forced B to expand out, and he's chosen to make it even harder on himself, trying to hide it out here. And that's going to make it very difficult for B to survive long term in this game. You see his economy dwindling now down to 500, only 20 workers, and Poyo taking yet another base since he has very much commanded map control down here. And we do see these rocks going down as Jet is attempting to offer B probably a gold base to make up for taking his other base. We do see some blings now also forming here. Unfortunately, that looks like a miss micro on Poyo's part, and they will take them a little while to get back. And you see some drones coming in here. They may be leading this army. Let's see if Jet can put 2 and 2 together. He may realize that that is leading to another base. It looks like instead he will just attempt, and there we go. One Ultralisk, some Infestors, and I don't know if that's enough to take out this army. Looks like he has been able to fungal it quite a bit, and those blings did some maximum saturation there, but unfortunately those medevacs and that Colossus helping out, and he's been able to push through here. And now they have discovered the other base. This, of course, is bad news. You see those Ultralisks just get completely just eviscerated by this army. And they're going to push through here. This Ultralisk Cavern, of course, going to go down, and the secret is up, and Poyo losing that base. Meanwhile, look at this ridiculous stream of Marines. It is unbelievable. He is going to roll this in. This is going to be quite a bit of an attack here. These Colossus are going to be the big deciding factor. We do see already Jet taking advantage and going right into Poyo's base, trying to take out all that tech. Meanwhile, another side army here from Jet. It looks like his army's been split a little bit, and he will take out Poyo's main base here. There's quite a bit of back and forth. This could be the game-clinching moment here, as Poyo, who had such a commanding lead on resources and on map control, is now watching it be completely whittled away. No real answer for these Colossus here. Sloan doing his best to fight 2 armies. We do see the last of the Ultralisk coming out here, trying to clean up the rest of this army. It looks like they will finally repel this invasion, and that is quite an expensive loss, though. Those 4 Ultralisks, the only remaining people from that graduating class, and he's going to have to make them count for all that he can, because unfortunately he lost quite a bit of tech losing his hive. The infestation pit, though, was saved, and that may turn out to be a critical piece here, as he has a lot less pieces on the board. We do see quite a large army now from Sloan starting to roll out. Sloan, of course, just working off of this one base. Look at all these mules, just really putting it to work. And look at this mini-map, just units everywhere, as we see Jet trying to coordinate his army. Unfortunately, his army keeps getting split, and look at this. Oh, fatal mistake there as these troops are just left alone on the island, and the black smoke monster coming to pick them apart. Meanwhile, down here, the second half of Jet's army completely crushed. That is a fatal mistake on his part. He did not get that army cohesiveness down as he wanted to. And unfortunately, the army got split, and they took advantage of it. You cannot afford those kinds of mistakes, especially in such a back-and-forth game. Meanwhile, these Ultralists are getting taken out. It looks like they are going for economy as much as possible, taking away this base from Jet here. And meanwhile, we do see some drones going in for a transfer. That's some much needed resources there for Pollo. Take a look at the income tab. We see B once again pretty much out of the game. He's just mining this. Just finished mining his last node. Jet's going to lose this base unless he gets some mules in there quickly. And it looks like he may be able to pull off saving this. Just barely saving this base here. Meanwhile, Jet going with another counterattack, hitting up against Sloan's army. He should be able to take that out. This is turning into quite a back and forth. I still believe they do not know about this base down here, so unfortunately, Pollo just able to continue mining on that. We see a scan go down. They are now aware of it. And here you go, the medevacs separating from the rest of the force here. Not going to be as big of a deal this time since this base is pretty much undefended. Meanwhile, we do see some Lings down here. This is turning into quite a battle as you know, the momentum has changed back and forth. We saw early on, we saw some early attacks that that left, I would say, AngerManagement in disadvantage. And look at this remote mining here going on for the gold. I mean, this is the situation that we're in. Take a look at the resource tab here, and it is just looking pathetic for everybody. Income tab even worse, as you see everyone's economy starting to drop. B pretty much out of this game. He's working on donations at this point. This is just not a good situation for them. They are definitely at the economic disadvantage since B is pretty much almost out of this. Sloan almost there with him, considering this is his last base that he can mine as well. Pollo losing really his only full base. This is pretty much half mined out here. Do see him starting to catch back a little bit with the tech. Really, what needs to happen here is Jet needs to either repurpose these workers to be on this base, or he needs to airlift one of his bases to go over to this gold and just start being able to mine that directly. Meanwhile, we do see the armies building up here, and here comes the roll in. Those blings are going to help out. We do see Sloan coming in, sniping that siege tank. And there we go, the surround. He doesn't have them. Does he have it? No, he does not have it. You see an evacuation from Jet. He's able to pull back at least some of those troops. Wow, a very expensive cornering there. He may have waited too long to get those back. And no, it actually looks like... No, it looks like he was not able to save any of those. That, of course, becoming very disastrous there, as that was really the only army AngerManagement had to try and hold off SeanPaul. We do see these 5 Ultralists now just kind of waiting for orders. This is definitely a very bad situation economically. The starvation is starting to kick in. You see here pretty much no income from B. This is all Jet Flyer right now. He really, really needs to, and for some reason, building this command post when he has one just sitting here not mining. That's a waste of money when right now, when you're pinching pennies for your army, you cannot afford to be building. This is not Sim City. There is no bonus here. This is not the mayor's mansion. You need to get these command centers that are not being used, and you need to move them over here. Especially now, you have to upgrade this to get mules. Like, the whole thing is just bad decision there. Very bad decision from Jet. Really should have repurposed one of his existing command centers. We do see Sloan putting one down here, also not repurposing. This is completely mined out. These are just some bad economic decisions when every piece of mineral counts. Pollo finally going for an expansion over on the northern side of the map, and also rebuilding this this southern expansion. This remote mining should come to an end now, and you should see Jet's economy start to take off. And look at that economy soar. This is getting him back in the game. At this point, he might be able to out-resource everybody, but that's going to be contingent upon him trying to get these expansions. He cannot allow Sloan. Look at this, ridiculous. Just really, I mean, how much energy do you have, Sloan? Just unbelievable endurance there from Sloan. He can go all night with those mules, and he's gonna definitely, look at that, just boom, immediately popping up there. And this is just I promise these references aren't meant to be sexual. I don't know why they're coming out this way, but it's just so much mining now. You think everyone's just kind of taking a little bit of a macro break here after all this back and forth battle. We do see now quite a bit of refueling. Army on the move once again. Jet's armies are getting a little smaller. Definitely getting you know, you can see the hit he's taking a little bit on this army building. And we do see B also they're just really hoarding this here. And they need to kind of snipe as many expansions as possible. You see them rolling in here now on Poyo's completely abandoned base. They're going to go ahead and take this out. Easy pickings there. Sloan with a nice-sized army here. Less medevacs. Looks like a few more troops than Jet. We do see these Ultralists and Banelings just kind of hanging out here. This is turning into quite an epic battle. It looks like there's some interest possibly in this area. Not quite sure what they mean by that. We do see an infestation pit sitting here waiting to get picked off. But other than that, looks like maybe a staging ground. Not really sure why they're pinging that area. We do see a spawning pool coming back down. Ultralist Cavern and Baneling Nest still in place. B finally trying to regain this expansion site here. And just right now, it just looks like everyone's kind of sitting back trying to expand up. We do see finally this base going down, unable to build because of this single Zergling, who now comes out to introduce himself to this SCV. That SCV, of course, not going to enjoy that conversation. And this Ling trying to get back, but did not make it back in time. And again, building a command center when you have one just sitting here. This could have very easily been flown over here. Cancel this, move it over, reuse what you have. Another one just sitting here wasting away. This one half used. These could easily be repurposed, although they really don't have any other expansions other than this site. The other ones are a little too close to comfort. This site, of course, unclaimed by anybody, but being heavily guarded here by all these Ultralists. And you do see the army rolling in to kind of keep this protected. However, Sloan already in position. This Xel'Naga under control of Team SeanPaul. They do see this army. They are aware of it, and they are most likely planning something very nasty for it. We do see this army as well with a flank. They need to take down these rocks if they want to try to flank. That's probably a good idea. But it looks like for right now, they're just going to sit back. Both teams, of course, reeling from a lot of economic impact. So they kind of want to take their time to try and rebuild, remacro up. But take a look at that income tab. You see it's starting to climb a little bit for B. Everyone else still a little oh, and we see these rocks finally going down. Looks like someone's going to use them to flank. And oh my goodness, this is potential. I do not think Jet saw this. Oh my goodness, this is going to be huge. This is going to be huge. Will he be able to pull this off? They have no idea what they're standing on. Those mines going. Oh my goodness! Wow, look at that. That just came out of nowhere. Jetflyer does not even know what hit him. That was basically a huge slap across the face. And we see Sloan rolling in there just to make sure there is no escape path. And Jet's army, as quickly as he built it, is completely destroyed. That was incredible play. Very quick thinking from Poyo. They know at this point that they have them. This is just a matter of rolling in here and just making sure that no miss micros lose their army. See this base going down. Jet has to be completely flaccid after that. That is just a devastating sneak attack there from a very clever Zerg player. I mean, he looks like he just got barely enough notice to burrow that. Not sure if it was luck or just clever thinking on his part, but he pulled it off beautifully. Jet did not see it coming, and now the last sources of income are at risk here. There's not enough army to go around. We take a look at that units tab here, and you'll see it looks absolutely pathetic for Team AngerManagement compared to this enormous biomass we see here, just kind of rolling in on everything. They're going to eviscerate all these workers here. It looks like we will see the Zerg splinter off to try and take out B Nasty's expansion down here. And no, it looks like they are being called back. It looks like they're going for everything. They want to keep these armies together. We do see a little bit of a pullback here. Not quite sure why. This is a much smaller army. Sloan could easily take this out. He doesn't have as many medevacs, but he has enough manpower. You see these SCVs. These are some brave SCVs. In the midst of combat, still collecting resources. And there's the GG from B Nasty. Not sure if Jetflyer agrees with it yet, but B just lost his base, so of course that's going to be pretty much it for him. He has basically fought to get resources the entire game. He has barely been able to construct an army. You see Sloan just kind of trading blows here. B has completely left the game. And there it is. No GG from Jetflyer as he leaves the game. And victory goes to probably a very exhausted Team SeanPaul. Wow, what an incredible back and forth, epic, almost 40-minute matchup there. Definitely could have gone either way several times throughout the match. What we're seeing so far is a veteran team in El Pollo Loco a veteran in B Nasty who unfortunately was a little crippled, but Jetflyer keeping it together for that team. AngerManagement really was Jetflyer for pretty much the second half of this game, and he really showed that he has what it takes to hold his own, not only against a champion like Pollo, but even in a disadvantaged situation. Unfortunately, the resources just kind of tilting in favor, map control tilting in favor of Team SeanPaul, and then able to bring this home. This ties it up though, 1-1. That means we're going to a Game 3, and if these two games have been any indication, Game 3 should be one hell of a match as the slugfest continues to see if Team AngerManagement will start their debut with a win, and if Team SeanPaul will lose their undefeated record. Stay tuned, we have Game 3 coming right up.